this little headband on. Hi, I'm Erin, and welcome back to the Joy Tribe. We are here to embark on our own inner adventure to discovering ourselves. We are here to discuss all things self-discovery, where self-discovery meets story and imagination. And I'm here to guide you through all the messy and the magical process of becoming yourself again in real life. Because let's face it, healing isn't about following the rules, because healing doesn't follow any rules at all. It's really about being able to answer the calls in your life, facing those inner dragons, and choosing to write the next chapter with intention and purpose, and to follow your rules. If you're ready to embark on this inner adventure, grab your wand, grab your cloak, and maybe even those combat boots, and let's begin. Today, I want to talk about a tool that is probably one of the most powerful healing tools that I've used personally, one that we all should be using, but we're not. And we're going to talk about why that is today. But I want to start off with a bit of a story. You may or may not know, underneath the headband and the bow sweater, I am a nerd. I love reading, I love Tomb Raider, and I love adventure. But as a people pleaser, if I hadn't done any sort of healing or imagination work on myself, I would not be doing this video at all, exclaiming my deep love for fantasy. Because I always was afraid of what other people would think, of how ridiculous I would look if I was doing videos on fantasy, imagination, and adventure with healing and coaching and all of the things in between. Fantasy gave me my spark back. It gave me my joy. It allowed me to feel in love with life again, to feel expansive and to feel less stressed and have less anxiety. There's so many different pluses that tapping into fantasy and imagination has given me. Because when real life kind of sucked, I realized that I was just done living for everyone else, and living for me just felt so much better. Finding my way back to fantasy wasn't about getting immersed in Hogwarts or finding myself in Tomb Raider or slaying dragons. It was really about giving me permission to be myself, to be my best self, as much as I hate saying that, but being the most animated version of myself, the full picture of who I am. Fantasy gave me permission to dream again. When everything was falling apart around me, it gave me hope. Take my divorce as an example. When my marriage ended and my life was a bit of a dumpster fire, fantasy allowed me to take myself out of my life that I was living and not escape from it, to see myself in different situations, better situations. Well, what if I was in a better relationship? What if I moved downtown and made lots of friends and had lots of experiences and ate at new restaurants? What would traveling alone look like for me? And it created this sense of excitement I wouldn't have if I didn't have access to my imagination. It was the belief that I could make more of my life despite what was happening to me or what has happened in the past, is that I was living my life where I had the pen this time, where I got to write the next chapter. And this is especially important for those who are going through a breakup or divorce, because I feel like at an older age, or anything above 30 really, where our lives feel like they're completely over because we're newly single, or you go through a divorce, you feel like a failure. So having fantasy and imagination gives us permission to dream of something different. And this is essential during this process, during the healing process, because you need hope. You need that spark of something more to pull you through it. As a kid, I would write so many stories. I would play fairies, and I loved using my imagination, writing, and being creative. Although I'm not running around pretending I'm a fairy now, although sometimes I do wish, imagination still lives in my life to this day. And I want to share why that's important. When I started really getting into the fantasy world, I was actually working at a fruit stand when I was 16 on the corner in my hometown. No, not that kind of corner. In order to get through those long hours, because sometimes I would be working from like 7 until 8 p.m. at night, I read. I finished the entire Harry Potter series in that fruit stand. I laughed, I cried, I was mystified, I was inspired, and honestly, that book changed my life. And maybe you had your own version of this somewhere along the line. You had that one story that made you feel like the world was a lot bigger than the life that you're actually living. And that's the important piece here. Because here's the truth. Fantasy isn't just for kids. I mean, if we really want to get into it, how the hell did we all get here? We live on a rock that's flying through space. How did that happen? If it's not magic, what else is it? I digress. Fantasy is one of the most underrated tools for healing, and most of us have completely abandoned that. And why is that so? Well, as adults, we're told to start adulting. We're told to be realistic. Don't be silly. Don't do anything that might make you look bad. You have to pay the bills. You have to keep your oil changed. I mean, I just got home from doing that a couple hours ago. Curiosity and imagination, don't be crazy. That's childish. I mean, right? We are told to get a real job or do something productive, rather than spend time cultivating the one thing that gives us hope, inspiration, and joy. So we trade that spark in for spreadsheets and fractions and Pythagorean theorem that who the hell uses that anymore? I mean, if that's not depressing, I really don't know what is. We stop daydreaming, we stop imagining, and we stop believing in magic altogether, which is really, really sad. And we wonder why our life feels so shitty and depressing. So here's what I want you to remember. Fantasy isn't about escaping your life, even if everyone wants to tell you it is. It's not about denying your truth. It's not about escaping emotions. It is about expansion, if you do it correctly. It is about possibility. It's realizing that life can change in any moment. That possibility is all around us if we just believe in it. That you can dream, that you can explore, and you can imagine something greater for yourself. Now, I'm not a neuroscientist, but neuroscience shows that curiosity literally boosts resilience and problem solving in any situation. When you use curiosity, everything starts to expand. You're able to process more and start thinking outside of the box. One of the more interesting things that I found is movies and adventure stories allow us to create a safe space for us to feel certain emotions, to feel empathy, to relate to the character that we are watching or we are reading about. So in my case, when I watch Tomb Raider, I'm able to resonate with her because she is using courage and she is moving through challenges that obviously I'm not going through myself, but I can imagine myself going through that with her, using her bravery and her courage. The beauty of fantasy is it gives us a way to reframe our life in a new situation, maybe in a new city or in a new relationship or in a new job. Imagining what that could look like and feeling that in our body. Guessing you're probably wondering, how the heck do I actually use this in real life? And how do I have time in my already busy, crazy life? Well, you have to make time. You could start asking, what if? What if I chose to do this differently? What if I chose to see this in a new way, using a different perspective? What if I did take that one step to do that art class that I've been talking about for so long? Going to a networking event or a dating event, or putting yourself out there in some way. It allows your brain to start imagining the possibilities. Just using the what if statement to explore what that would look like, what that dream would look like if it actually transpired, and giving you inspiration and courage to do it. It might seem like a big stretch to start throwing out these what if questions and statements like, what if I moved to Bali, or what if I moved to Italy and eat my weight in pasta? We're not here to do eat, pray, love. Honestly, all you need to do is start small. Even if it is just 15 minutes before you go to bed, you read a chapter of that book. Or maybe you decide to go for a fantasy walk. Basically, you go for a walk listening to your favorite cinematic movie score. It's the best, let me tell you. Or you watch one of your favorite fantasy movies from when you were a kid. That might be Harry Potter, maybe that's Lord of the Rings, maybe it's Indiana Jones, whatever that is for you. So yes, I am telling you to watch Netflix for homework. You're welcome. Start journaling as your own heroine or hero of your own story. I know that it sounds weird, but when I looked at how I was writing about myself in my journal, I realized that I was writing as the damsel in distress this entire time. So we really need to learn how to flip the script. And that is with imagination and putting you as the main character of your own epic adventure. Now, I get it. Fantasy for a lot of people is just living in denial. You're escaping from your life, you're imagining all these things, and quite frankly, you sound crazy. Fantasy is just remembering that your story isn't over, that there's so much more to be explored, to be experienced. It's about dreaming about your and how you'd experience it, and how you'd live it, and how you'd move through it. It's dreaming what could be next. Hold the pen to write your next chapter on your own terms. That is the best feeling of freedom that anyone could give you, and you are giving that to yourself. So if you've been waiting for someone to put a magic wand in your hand, consider this the delivery of your Hogwarts letter. This is your permission. Because the wizard, the heroine, or the fairy version of yourself is a hell of a lot more fun than the fine version. If this idea is lighting up something in you, and if you're here, it must be for a reason. I want you to take one step further. I am so excited to introduce my 3-part Inner Adventure series, Once Upon Her Time. It's 3 cinematic visualizations that guide you back to your own curiosity, your self-trust, and that heroine part of you that's been waiting to rise for so long. And for those of you who hate meditating, this is for you. Because this is not about shutting your eyes and shutting off the thoughts or sitting on top of a mountain cross-legged, waiting for the gods to bless you. That's not what we're doing here. This is about stepping into the adventure of your own healing story. Pretty crazy, right? I promise you, you won't regret it. So if you're interested in taking part in that, you can find the link below. It is self-guided. You do it on your own time. I do suggest doing the parts separately so you can fully immerse yourself in each of the parts, because there are journal prompts and action steps for you to take. So as we end off this video, if you liked what you're hearing, if you appreciated the fantasy side of things over here, give this channel a like. I would be so happy to hear from you in the comments if you'd like to share your experience with imagination and fantasy as an adult. and how it's improved your life, because your next chapter isn't going to write itself. Your inner adventure awaits, my friends. We will see you in the next video.